Video 12. Project Procurement Management. This video will introduce some of the concerns that the project team needs to address during the phase in which the project risk is being managed. These concerns include 1. Managing procurements processes. 2. Managing project outputs. 3. Managing performance data. 4. Managing changes, and 5. Managing documents. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like this video and want us to continue with new topics. Subscribe to the channel. All content is free. You can also comment suggesting topics you would like to see on this channel. Thank you. Project Procurement Management. Project procurement management is the process of acquiring and managing the acquisition of products, services, or results to meet the needs of a project. Project procurement management includes the management and control processes required to develop and administer agreements such as contracts, purchase orders, memoranda of understanding, or internal service level agreements. Some common activities in project procurement management include 1. Identifying procurement needs. 2. Requesting proposals. 3. Selecting and evaluating vendors. 4. Managing procurement contracts. 5. Overseeing material deliveries. 6. Inventory management and integration. 7. Spend analysis. 8. Project and purchasing reporting. There are two important processes at this stage. 1. Conduct procurements. 2. Control procurements. Purpose. Conduct procurement is the process of obtaining responses from the seller, selecting a qualified seller, and establishing agreements and formalizing contracts. Control procurement is the process of managing procurement relationships, monitoring contract performance and making changes and corrections as appropriate, and closing contracts. This should ensure that both the seller and the buyer are 1. Fulfilling the project requirements in accordance with the terms of the legal agreement. 2. Managing the contract to the extent that they are required to fulfill their contractual obligations, and 3. Ensuring that their own legal rights are protected. Procurement control involves applying appropriate project management processes to contractual relationships and integrating the outputs of these processes into the overall management of the project. And on larger projects where there are multiple suppliers to be managed, a key aspect of contract administration is managing communications between the various suppliers. Administrative activities may include 1. Project data collection and records management, including detailed records of physical and financial performance and the establishment of performance indicators. 2. Refining procurement plans and schedules. 3. Setting up the collection, analysis, and reporting of procurement-related project data and preparing periodic reports for the organization. 4. Monitoring the procurement environment so that implementation can be facilitated or adjustments made, and 5. Paying invoices. The quality of controls, including the independence and credibility of procurement audits, is critical to the reliability of the procurement system. Procurement control has a financial management component that involves monitoring payments to the supplier. This ensures that the payment terms set out in the contract are met and that payments are closely related to the work performed. Outputs. Some outputs of the procurement processes in this phase are selected suppliers. In this phase, one of the deliverables is the selected set of suppliers whose proposals have been approved as a result of a competitive bidding process. It is important to note that in the case of complex, high-value, and high-risk procurements, final approval must be given by the top organizational management. Agreements. Another output of this phase is the executed agreements. These agreements may contain, among others, the following components. 1. Procurement statement of work or major deliverables. 2. Schedule, milestone, or date by which a schedule is required. 3. Performance reports. 4. Pricing and payment terms. 5. Inspection, quality, and acceptance criteria. 6. Warranty and future product support. 7. Incentives and penalties. 8. Performance guarantees and insurance. 9. Subcontractor approvals. 10. General terms and conditions. 11. Change request handling. And 12. Termination clause and alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Closed procurements. Another deliverable of this phase is the set of closed procurements. Once all deliverables have been delivered on time, meeting technical and quality requirements, without any complaints, and all payments have been made, the project management team approves all deliverables and the buyer provides the seller with formal written notification that the contract has been completed. Work performance information. At this stage, the work performance information obtained includes information about a salesperson's performance, comparing deliverables received, technical performance achieved, and costs incurred and accepted against the budget for the work performed. Change requests. The conduct procurement and control procurement processes can generate change requests for the project management plan, its subsidiary plans, and other components, such as the cost baseline, schedule baseline, and procurement management plan. Procurement documentation. At this stage, the procurement documentation that may be updated includes 1. The contract with all supporting schedules, requested unapproved contract changes, and approved change requests. 2. Any technical documentation developed by the seller. 3. Other information such as deliverables, seller performance reports, and warranties. Financial documents including invoices and payment records, and the results of inspections related to the contract. Project management plan updates. At this stage, any changes to the project management plan are processed through the organization's change control process via a change request. Components of the project management plan that may require a change request to the project management plan include, but are not limited to, 1. Requirements management plan. Project requirements may change due to changes identified by suppliers during the conduct procurement process. 2. Quality management plan. Suppliers may offer alternative quality standards or workarounds that impact the quality approaches defined in the quality management plan during the conduct procurement process. 3. Communications management plan. As suppliers are retained, the communications management plan is updated to incorporate their communication needs and approaches during the conduct procurement process. 4. Risk management plan. Each contract and vendor has its own set of risks that may require updates to the risk management plan. Specific risks are incorporated into the risk register during the procurement conduct and procurement control processes. If significant unexpected risks occur during the procurement control process, the risk management plan may also be updated. 5. The procurement management plan may be updated depending on the results of contracting and negotiations during the conduct procurement process, and also depending on the results of the supplier's performance during the control procurement process. 6. Scope baseline. The project WBS and the deliverables documented in the scope baseline may be updated during the procurement conduct process. 7. Schedule baseline. If there are supplier-created deliverable changes that impact the overall project schedule performance, the baseline schedule may need to be updated and approved to reflect current expectations during the procurement conduct and procurement control processes. The buyer should be aware of any cascading impacts of schedule delays created by one supplier that impact other suppliers. 8. Cost baseline. During the procurement conduct and procurement control processes, material and contractor costs may change frequently and need to be incorporated into the cost baseline. Project document updates. At this stage, project documents that may be updated as a result of performing this process include, but are not limited to: the first project document is the Lessons Learned log. The Lessons Learned log may be updated with 1. Information about challenges encountered during the procurement conduct process, as well as approaches that worked well and how they could have been avoided. 2. During the procurement control process, the Lessons Learned log may be updated with techniques that were effective in maintaining the scope, schedule, and cost of the items purchased. The log should show what corrective actions were taken to respond to variances that may have occurred and how effective they were. 3. If there are complaints, the information should be documented to prevent recurrences. Additional information on how to improve the procurement process may also be recorded. The second project document is the requirements documentation. The requirements documentation may be updated. 1. During the procurement process, with technical requirements that the supplier must satisfy. 2. During the procurement process, with requirements that have contractual and legal implications that may include health, safety, security, performance, environmental, insurance, intellectual property rights, equal employment opportunity, licenses, permits, and other non-technical requirements. The third project document is the Requirements Traceability Matrix. 1. During the procurement process, the Requirements Traceability Matrix may be updated as suppliers are incorporated into the project plan, depending on the capabilities of the specific supplier. 2. The Requirements Traceability Matrix may also be updated with information about requirements that have been satisfied. The fourth project document is the Resource Calendar. During the procurement process, resource calendars may need to be updated depending on supplier availabilities. The fifth project document is the Risk Register. 1. During the procurement process, the risk register may be updated to reflect the specific risks of each supplier. These risks depend on the supplier organization, contract duration, external environment, project delivery method, type of procurement vehicle chosen, and the agreed final price. 2. And during the procurement process, the risk register may be updated as initial risks may no longer be applicable and new risks emerge. The sixth project document is the Stakeholder Register. 1. During the procurement conduct process, the Stakeholder Register may be updated as agreements are made with specific suppliers. 2. During the procurement control process, the Stakeholder Register may be updated as contractors and suppliers may change. The seventh project document is the Resource Requirements. During the procurement control process, resource requirements may be updated as work progresses through contractors, resulting in work being performed that is not in accordance with the planned work schedule. Organizational Process Asset Updates. At this stage, organizational process assets may be updated in the following situations. First situation. During the conduct procurement process, certain elements of the organizational process assets may be updated. 1. Listings of potential and pre-qualified suppliers, and 2. Information about relevant supplier experience, both good and bad. Second situation. During the acquisition control process, organizational process assets that may be updated include, but are not limited to, 1. Payment schedules and requests. All payments must be made in accordance with the terms and conditions of the procurement contract. 2. Supplier performance evaluation documentation. This documentation shows the vendor's ability to perform the work on the current contract, whether the vendor is eligible for consideration on future project, and how the vendor is performing or has performed on the project. 3. Updates to the pre-qualified vendor list. Pre-qualified vendor lists may be updated based on the results of the procurement control process, as vendors may be disqualified and removed from the lists based on poor performance. 4. Lessons learned repository. Lessons learned should be used to improve procurement processes for future projects. At the end of a contract, the actual procurement results are compared to what was defined in the original procurement management plan. This will result in a record of the project objectives that were met and also of the reasons that prevented other objectives from being met. 5. Procurement archive. A complete set of indexed contract documentation, including the awarded contract, is prepared for inclusion in the final project files. This concludes this video on project procurement management. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Next video, Project Management, Carrying Out the Work Phase, 1. Project Stakeholder Management, more videos coming soon. 1. Project Life Cycles, here we will talk about predictive, iterative, incremental, adaptive, hybrid. 2. Project Phases versus Project Processes. 3. Examples using WBS Schedule Pro. 4. Examples of project plans using MS Project. And many more videos. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like this video and want us to continue with new topics. Subscribe to the channel. All content is free. You can also comment suggesting topics you would like to see on this channel. Thank you.